What's up, everybody? Welcome back to My Twisted Life and TV. I am Poetry. You are here for another recap and review of Queen Sugar. This is season 6, episode 4. This one is titled To a Different Day. So again, it's a continuation of the sentence that's been stated. If you were to dream with them deeply, you would come back different to a different day. I know I missed one because it's 4 sentences. But anyway, we are here. I am late, as always. It has become a pattern, so I apologize deeply to you. But if you want to stick around for more videos, make sure you subscribe to the channel so the way you can be notified when the videos actually do come out. You'll get that notification, especially if you turn on your notification bell. Like the video so that way YouTube would know that you actually like being around on this channel. And comment down in the comment section. That lets me know that you actually like being on this channel and you are engaged in the subject matter which is being presented to you. Okay, so Queen Sugar, I am going to try to keep this a recap for the most part. I'm going to try to leave my points of view out because some of y'all don't seem to like when I talk bad about y'all show Queen Sugar. I'm going to say my show too. I still enjoy the show, but some of y'all don't like when I point out things that I find disagreeable with the way it's written, with the way it's presented, or whatever way the characters acting. So I'm gonna give y'all a recap and see if y'all like that boring ass commentary. No, I'm not. I just lying. Anywho, we start off with Charley. She doing an interview with Gayle King. This is Gayle King's second time being here on Queen Sugar. Actually, her second time interviewing Charley. And we noted from this interview that they're going to tap into her relationship with Davis. Because it's official now. Everybody knows that they're back together. Gayle did ask the important question, do you think in the court of public opinion that your supporters are going to back you when they don't back him? They still ain't rocking with him for real, right? And getting back with him is not favorable in their eyes because Davis is still the stain on the white dress. He's the stain on Monica Lewinsky's dress. That's basically what Davis is at this point right now. So she did ask these questions, and Charley assured her that, no, it's all about forgiveness. He's showing and proving that he's a changed man. He's doing stuff with the community. I don't know what him giving money to babies or giving money to charities that got to do with kids, got the fact to do with that he, potentially set up a rape situation for this chick and paid her off. They don't correlate. They're not parallel for me to say that now that it's showing that he's doing some good. I mean, drug dealers give out turkeys every Christmas and Thanksgiving. Okay, that does not negate the bad which he's done, but Charley sees this as favorable in her eyes. So she says, you know what? She's going to forgive and she's going to move forward, right? At least the daughter Tia got an honorable mention in this episode because everybody been asking where the hell is Tia. There was one other thing when they started off the season that I meant to bring up before. I did not realize that Davis was no longer in New Orleans. The season 5, Davis had moved to New Orleans, had moved Tia to New Orleans with him because he had got a job. He was he was playing for New Orleans. Now we open up this season, he's back in LA taking a coaching job, and he's moved himself and Tia back out to LA. That threw me off when somebody, because I was on somebody else's channel and it was like Charley is going back and forth to see Davis in LA, and I kept thinking, why is she going back to LA when he's in New Orleans? But they did explain it, I just didn't catch it. My bad. Okay, so what I wanted Gayle to do, I wanted her to turn him up or turn her up. I did. I wanted her to really dig in deep. The same way that she did with R. Kelly when he broke down and started crying. I wanted her to pull out this interview, everything that people would have been saying. Gayle did it in a nice, soothing way that made Charley feel really confident in her answer. I think that Gayle should have she showed a small clip of her, when she was being pulled off the court. I think that it would have been more effective if we had heard some quotes or some thoughts or perceptions from people who have not been in her favor, not been in David's favor, and definitely not in this relationship's favor. And when she brought up how he's being a good father to Tia, Gail should have been like, who's Tia? Because the fact that he had a child outside of their marriage was not public knowledge. So I don't know why Gail didn't ask about that. Okay, so we got Darla and Ra laying up in the bed. They all just lovey-dovey, ooey gooey, spreading their love to one another back and forth. And Gidry, the town officer, the one who shows up everywhere that the borderlands are at, he is there to enact a warrant to search the grounds. Well, Nova's book has come back to bite them in the ass. There was a chapter in there that she had wrote that Ernest may have killed somebody and possibly buried them on the land. Now, if I remember correctly, correct me if I'm wrong, but if I remember correctly, the way that Nova wrote that was that there was somebody who was making lewd comments and stuff to her, and they had posed threats and things to Ernest, and Ernest went to go talk to these boys, and then she never saw them again. Okay, but the way that and Prosper said that simply wasn't true. Okay, but the way that Gidry is bringing this out, he was saying that Ernest was supposed to have killed 2 men who were workers, and they are possibly buried on the farm. That sounds like Charley's story, when she had those workers out there in the middle of the storm and they lost their lives. So it seems like they're mixing the stories together. I'm not sure if this is Gidry's memory that's faulty, that's mixing these stories together, or if this is just bad writing on Queen Sugar's part, because I remember the damn book. Ernest, his whole story about killing these supposed men had to do with him, an attack on his family and him protecting his family. It didn't have to do with workers on the farm, which was Charley's situation. Anywho, Gidry claims that the families are still looking for these family members. Not when Ernest did it, because that situation was supposed to happen when Nova was 12, right? But they went fishing, remember? They went fishing and so okay. But the families are still looking for their loved ones. They're still looking for justice. So they went to the judge. The judge saw fit to reopen the case and issued a warrant for that land to be excavated. Now, of course, this land excavation is surely going to hinder anything that Ralph Angel got going on with the USDA. And I'm so surprised at y'all. All this past 3 weeks, I've been saying the EPA, Environmental Protection Agency, which makes sense to me based off of what they're going through, soil testing and stuff like that. But the U.S. Department of Agriculture, that makes sense as well. That's who the heck this doggone claim is, this arbitration is with. None of y'all corrected me. Y'all correct me about everything else. Y'all correct me about everything else. I can have a slip of the tongue and I have a 50 gallon comments correcting me about that. But when I honestly make a mistake, y'all quiet? Anywho, when Gidry called Ralph Angel Ralph, was it just me or did y'all hear the word boy? Because that's what it sounded like to me. You know what I'm saying? He was like, I'm gonna do what I gotta do on your property and do what this warrant says I have the right to do, Ralph. That sounded like boy to me. It sounded like boy to me. Was this me? No. Okay, well, anyway. Well, Darla, she had predicted that shit was about to roll downhill. Remember she said she had that feeling that something was about to go bad? Well, here it come. And y'all know when shit rolls downhill for the Bordelon family, it ain't just one of them that's being affected. The entire family starts to feel the wrath of what's going to happen, right? I think this Charley and David story is going to take a turn for the worse. And since we had opening clips with Micah and the teacher or the professor, I was like, maybe that's going to become a story too. Because it's not just the whole political race. It's not just about Charley at this point. They tear up the entire family. You know what I'm saying? They comb through all this shit. And Micah being age 20 is not going to be exempt from the wrath of journalists and things like that poking in their business. Well, Billy is still in town. It's been a while now, a couple weeks or whatever, and she's still there taking care of Prosper. He seemed annoyed to me that she was there. He wouldn't eat. He won't take his medicine on time, and when she touched his hand for comfort or whatever, he seemed a little bit shocked and somewhat appalled to me. That's what I was reading. She wants to try to bring him in a nurse, right? And of course, with some resistance, he finally agreed to have this nurse come in, right? She seemed to be really trying on her behalf to be there for him. And for a moment, he seemed to try to connect with her. I can't deny that. He asked her about her partner. His name was Vince. And I'm assuming that was Vince that was blowing her phone up that she was ignoring. And I'm like, okay, that's going to be really convenient that her and Vince having problems, which is going to make Billy stay back in New Orleans. Now, you left 20 years ago because everybody thought you was the town slut. So far, the only person that has heard the truth in this day and age is Nova. Everybody still gonna think you the town slut. And you still ain't talked to your daddy about it again. You still ain't brought it to him, explained to him why you disconnected yourself, why you separate yourself from him. And I guess her mama never knew. I guess I know her mama had to hear the rumors. Anywho, Prosper was like, you know what, if you don't want to talk to me, I hope you got a friend that you can talk to. You need somebody to release this stuff out on, right? Well, how about Nova? You talk to her, y'all used to be real cool. And she said, first of all, I said, first of all, Daddy, you ain't been very welcoming to me. You know what I'm saying? To the point that I really want to open up to you. And Nova, for me, isn't no ship is sailed. That ain't what she said, though. She just said, her and Nova talked, but, that was in the past, right? What'd she say? That friends are just enemies that you haven't made yet? I was like, damn, that's deep seated hurt there, right? You know what I'm saying? How much trauma are you dealing with, Billy, that you think, or you discounting any type of friends, or you are stating that any friends that you may have is going to end up being future enemies? Like, this is where your trust level is at. That's really disturbing. That's a fucked up way to feel inside. I was like, you ain't got no friends from college, from Chicago, nothing? You know what I'm saying? Nova was it. It's been over 20 years. You still holding on to that old friendship that you couldn't make no new ones? That's sad. Anyway, everybody's so fucking depressing on this show. Shit. Now Nova, she getting security cameras installed all around her place. Shout out to Tracy from Review with a Tracy's Point. She also reviews this show, and I love her takes on it because she really gets deep into the mentality of the characters and the setting and everything. She took notice of the fact that Nova don't live in the hood no more. Y'all notice when this show first started, Nova lived in the 9th Ward. She wanted to stay in the 9th Ward to be around her community. But when she moved in with Calvin, this is a totally different house. Now she kind of in she's still a city, but more suburbanish. She living across the street from a lake. Yeah. Now, when they first showed Dominic and his sister Loretta, they was across the street. But across the street is a lake. You ain't saying, hey, neighbor, all the way across that damn lake. So are they next door neighbors or something like that? I don't know, y'all. Why is Dominic always around? My cousin Hazy, hey girl, hey. You see her down in the comment section every once in a while. She suggested that Dominic is an op. And I tend to agree with that. I really do. I get that sense from him. He knows too much about her. Too much about her. And he's too conveniently placed in her life. At first, I thought Loretta was one of Nova's old friends. Remember, she used to have that group of friends she used to hang around with? Nah, Loretta ain't her. This is just, I guess, just a random neighbor in this new neighborhood that she live in. Nova knew everybody in her old neighborhood. I'm saying they all grew up around each other. She knew it was a community-based neighborhood. But she didn't know Loretta had a whole grown-ass brother who's been out of town all this time. You was an academic teacher, a professor, and you just out of town all like this. It ain't adding up to me. It ain't adding up to me. Anywho, he come up to her like, hey, what's going on with this? You know, see all the security cameras and everything. And he said, you know what? I'm going to look out for you. When you coming home late at night, text me. I'll step out on the porch where I'm saying, make sure you get in safely, whatever. And she like, cool, you know, I do that because I be feeling vulnerable when I come home late at night sometimes. So I might take you up on that. They didn't exchange numbers though. How she gonna text you without your number? I'm just saying, there's just some things I'll be pointing out. Anyhow, we go to the diner, Vi's Prize Pies. And Gabriel is coming in there to go hang out with Hollywood. I was like, St. Joe's ain't got no little boys around Gabriel's age that he got to hang out with this grown-ass man. This is why Blue needs to still be on this show. Okay? This is why Blue needs to be on this show. I understand that young boys need a male figure in their life to help give them some guidance and some structure. But Hollywood is taking on Gabriel like that's his own little pet project. You know what I'm saying? And then I guess Celine, y'all didn't tell me her doggone name either. I said it 3 times. What is her name? Ain't nobody said her name. Her name is Celine. I can call her Agnes. She now feels so comfortable that she can come out of that motel because of Hollywood. That's still baffling me. I guess sending her son off with Hollywood is okay. She was first worried about him calling up the daddy, and now she comfortable with him just going off with Hollywood. He could possibly run into the daddy. Ain't no telling. I don't know. Anyway, Hollywood decides that he's going to take him fishing. I was like, I wonder if this connection is simply about Hollywood taking on Gabriel because he said that Gabriel was his mother's favorite angel, so he feels like there's something there, like that's what he's supposed to be doing right now, is being with Gabriel, being his protector, what have you, or being his guardian angel. Or do you think that this storyline is leading up to Hollywood missing out on not having kids? You know, when he got with Vi, that was one of the things that they talked about before. Is he going to be comfortable with not being able to have children of his own? And he was like, as long as I got you, you know, ain't gonna matter. And just from having a brother that was with older women, I know how much that mattered. He wanted children, and he got with her, and he settled for not having kids. She had already had grown children of her own. You know, he took them on as his kids as well. He took them on the grandchildren, but deep inside, he wanted to have children of his own. He wanted to have children with her. It wasn't just that he wanted to have children. He wanted to have children with her, you know. So I wonder if that is going to become an issue for them with him being around Gabriel in the capacity in which he is. Anywho, Micah, we know he was sleeping with the professor. Her name is Jordana. I still wasn't buying this relationship at all. Y'all didn't tell me about that either. Remember the first episode I said I kept falling asleep, so I missed a lot of stuff, and not even talk about Micah and the professor. I had to go over to Miss Honey channel. Miss Honey talked about it in hers, and I was like, Micah slept with the teacher? I missed out that part because remember I fell asleep. Anywho, I ain't buying it. I ain't buying it at all. One thing I'm surprised about though, I'm surprised that as conscious as Micah has become, that he doesn't find this relationship unethical. Shit, I guess he really is like his I know. She slept with her professor too, right? It's unethical. It's just, and just from what the instructor said, she said that you make me feel like I'm 10 years younger. I'm assuming, maybe I shouldn't assume, but I'm guessing that she's supposed to be 10 years older than Micah, which would be 30, and baby girl look older than Charley. Anyway, out on the farm, Ralph is still dealing with Guidry and the police and the I guess the coroner's department or whoever was out there digging up the land, and he goes out and decides to, you know, collect soil samples of his own where they were excavating that. And I was like, okay, so is he thinking that his land is tampered with? Because that's what I was thinking. You had 2 failed crops. Why are you waiting to right now when they show up to collect these samples? You could have been collecting these samples. You know what I'm saying? After your crops failed, you could have been collecting these samples. So why are you waiting to right now? That alone should have gave him pause when that second crop just failed without warning. Okay, and then what happened to the beans? Remember, he had started farming beans to circumvent the fact that they couldn't mill. What happened to the beans? I think it was soybeans, wasn't it? Anyway, Darla asked him the same question as I did. What made you want to test the soil right now? He gave the soil to Benny to go get testing done. And the testing came back in the same day. Okay, anywho. But as I expected, he doesn't trust them, right? But he's thinking that they could possibly be tampering with the soil right now. And it's the owner, he said he ain't no telling what they do with the soil. They can be putting anything in out there soil. But yeah, he's thinking that they tamper with the soil right now. He wasn't thinking about it as far as the crops was concerned. So we get a little clarity on the Billy and Jimmy Dale situation. A lot of myself and a lot of other reviewers were saying that he actually sexually assaulted Billy or raped Billy, you know, and it turns out that wasn't the case. He did lure her to a secluded area with an attempts to have sex with her, attempts to assault her, not even have sex, to sexually assault her. But she fought her way out. She was able to get away from him. However, that did not stop him from going around town bragging to everybody about how good her sex was, which blows my freaking mind, because he was still married to Aunt Vi. And you are going around town bragging to everybody that you had sex with this little young girl when you got a whole wife sitting at home. Okay. Aunt Vi said in last week's episode that Billy sleeping with Jimmy Dale is what broke her. You know, he's always been disrespectful to her, but that is what broke her. And I'm thinking, not all the other disrespect that he did for you. You know, the fist to your face, the foot to your ribs, that's not what broke you. The fact that he slept with Billy and he felt confident enough to brag about it, and then we found out he lying about it, that's what broke you after all them years, right? She's still mad at Billy to this point, because again, Nova is the only one who has heard Billy's version of this story. Well, the ship, for me, like I said, the ship had sailed for Nova and Billy for me, but it hadn't for Billy. They sat down, had a conversation. Nova expressed how sorry she was and that she was gonna never abandon her again. You know, Billy accepted it because, again, she misses her friend. Apparently, this is the only one she's ever had in life. So, Darla, she out on the farm, she telling Ralph how smart and how intelligent he is in regards to learning about the farm, learning about soil tests and everything, because it came back from Vinny that the soil was heavily filled with pesticides. So that just let Ralph know the same thing I said. Your crop's been messed with. They ain't coming out here right now to tamper with your soil. They been messed with your soil. And Ralph Angel thinks that the Landrys are the ones that's behind it. And Darla say, look here, I know that you don't want us asking for no handouts, nothing like that. But as I was going through some of Blue's things, I found paperwork that I had on a trust fund that I already had. My parents had set it up for me for school. I didn't finish school, but the money is still there. It was scholarship money, grants, and then other money that they would put into it. And I think I want to ask them for it. It's not, like I said, it's not asking for a handout. It's not taking money for them. They had already set this money aside for me. And I doubt if they even realized that the money's still there. So I wanted to ask them for it. And he was like, no, nope. Let me handle this myself. You know, Ralph in his pride is bigger than life. I don't understand this, right? You got so many financial problems going on. You got a wife that's pregnant, about to pop a baby any moment. Y'all need a doula. Y'all need a midwife. Y'all gonna need medication. Y'all need a crib. Y'all need all kind of stuff. Because for some reason he can't build a crib. He built the doggone thing, the archway for the doggone wedding, but he can't build a damn crib. Anywho, y'all got all this stuff that y'all need to get, all these expenses that y'all gonna have for this baby. I don't know why she ain't on WIC. You know what I'm saying? She ain't employed. Get your ass on WIC right now, I'm saying. But all this stuff, and he's going to dismiss the idea. Now, he's not fully dismissing it. He's just saying, you know, give me some time. I got some more things I'm going to work out. I'm going to be the one that's going to provide for my family. This is her family, too. This is a partnership that you have. You know what I'm saying? You are not raising Darla. Y'all are in this together. Okay? So, it sounds like he's leaning more and more Theo's way, especially since he is tying in the Landrys with the tampering of the land, and the heist that Theo wants to do is going to affect Landry property. So what better way to get them back is to take what they got. You know what I'm saying? So I see it leaning this way, and I'm like, Ralph Angel, one of y'all mentioned in the comment section, I think it's one of the only men that actually watches my channel right now, mentioned in the comment section all the growth that Ralph Angel has had over these last 4 years. Why would he risk this and take a step back to get back into the life of crime? But that seems like where he's gonna go. Like I say, I think he's just gonna be considering it and strongly considering it. He may back out at the last minute. I don't know, but the fact that he's even considering it, I think that's where we're going. Let this woman help. This, I said, this is her family too. Why does it look like this is her family too? Let her help, okay? This is her life. This is her family. This is her kids. Her child is about to be birthed as well. She did at least come and consult you, okay? Instead of just going to do it herself, because she could have just did it on her own. I'm saying. Well, Prosper new nurse come by. He vaccinated. She vaccinated. So she takes off her mask, and she just a smiling Miss Sandy. I'm gonna call her Sandy Smiles. She got a smile just full of life, baby. Just hey, just like she looked like she makes some good old butter cornbread real good. That's just the kind of person Sandy look like, right? A smile that's just warming to the soul and warming to Prosper's nether regions. Now Billy said he was struggling getting that mud clean. I bet you he ain't gonna struggle no more with Sandy around. He gonna make sure he fresh tight right down there, just in case. Either that or he gonna let her scrub him all the way. Really in the waiting, baby. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, Sandy and Prosper, he's so smitten with her. He is so taken with her beauty, her smile, you know, her personality. He forgot that he didn't even want a nurse. Come on in here and sit your butt down. I'm surprised if Prosper ain't serving her dinner. You know what I'm saying? Speaking of serving, Jordana is serving Micah a Dear John letter, face to face, right? All she wanted from him was to tap that ass, you know. That sounds funny because she's having sex with him. She wanted the boy toy, right? What I'm saying, and Micah done caught feelings. You know, he buying flowers for her birthday and they all out in public and just, you know, this surely ain't being discreet, which is what she want. She caught off guard. She's like, no, I'm not in the least bit flattered. I don't see the chemistry between them. I never saw the chemistry between them. She looks older than his mom's. She towers over him, and that fact alone makes me see the child in him. I know he's 20, but he's still a child, and she's an adult in this situation. Even more from a visual standpoint, you know, he's not giving me grown man grown. You know what I'm saying? But she's giving me grown woman grown. It's not like I'm buying Hollywood where he's grown man grown to me and he's just dating a woman with age difference. This is totally different for me as far as visually speaking. Micah and Jordana just seems like all kinds of wrong. Okay. Anywho, she tells him, look her, you just my boy toy, but you trying to connect with me and that's not what I'm on. He like, no, that's cool, it's cool. She said, no, it's not cool. You here bringing me flowers. You telling your family about us. That sounds like a relationship that I don't want to be a part of, okay? So she dumped him. He heartbroken. Now his mom's, on the other hand, is solidifying things with Davis. You know, he had her room hooked up with flowers and candles and balloons and chocolates, plus a nice little card that said, I love you. It was real cute, y'all. I'm saying, if it wasn't Davis, you know what I'm saying, it would have taken my breath away. I mean, it took Charley's away. And so she left him a message saying that she loved him too, okay? We in this together. You know, speaking of taking the breath away, Sandy is still taking Prosper's breath away. You know, she up in there singing, child. Just singing. She ain't singing. She's singing with an A. You know what I'm saying? That's when you can sing real good. She's singing. Now, she just got into a good old gospel, an old southern gospel hymn. Boy, she would have tore it up. She was doing some Marvin Gaye and Tammy Terrell, but if she'd had that old gospel boy, ooh, she tore it up. I already know. Anyway, Micah's laying up in his room soaking because he just got the wind knocked out of him. But to the rescue come his boo thing. I don't even know his friend's name. His frat. He gets him to try meditation. You know what I'm saying? I need to do that. I haven't meditated in a while. I really need to center myself. Anyway, as he breathes in, he exhales. We switch over to Nova, who's on the stoop, inhaling, exhaling on some ganja. She drove all the way to St. Joe's to find out what was going on with the farm. Now, remember, she's supposed to live 2 hours from St. Joe. But anyway, she only stayed 15 seconds. She's like, I'm going to fix this. I'm going to fix this. Her blunt is the way of fixing this, I guess, right? I heard smoking gives you clarity. I don't know. So I guess. Well, the cop that had talked to her when we first opened up the show, he rose up to tell her that he's being watched, she's being watched, and she probably need to back off. He gonna go hide now for a few days, get out of sight, out of mind, He suggests she do the same. She's like, no, I'm not running. I ain't going nowhere. Now, Dominic is like, who is that, a cop? She's like, how you know that's a cop? He said, oh, I could tell him. I could tell. How can you tell? You know what I'm saying? You're an academic. How can you tell that's a cop? And this just made me say, yes, Hazy, you right, girl. You right. He's a cop. He claims that because his mom had a lot of dealings with the police, he know how to identify a cop. In the same sentence, he said that he was taken away from his mama at age 2. He said his grandmother raised him and his brother. Where's Sister Loretta come in at? Now, you able to identify a cop from up to age 2, the time that you was living with your mama? The state came and took you and your brother away, but somehow you got a sister named Loretta too. Where she come from? Where she come from? Where you come from? Okay? And Nova is so smitten with Dominic. I'm like, girl, you ain't seeing the holes in the story. You just so smitten with this man. You like, tell me more. Come on, journalist. Come on, researcher. You ain't researched this man. He just pops up out of nowhere. Come on, girl. Come on, girl. Anyway, speaking of researching, this Dark 30, they still out on the farm. Benny called and said, like I said, he said the soil had been tampered with. I'm buying wood, show up for support. Seems like her and Ralph Angel's beef is still going on. I just think they forgot they had a beef last episode or whatever. Anywho, they found what looked like to me a femur on the doggone land. Just one, but enough to make Gidry say, hey, well, that book must be true. It's a good thing we came out here. So despite Ralph Angel saying that the book was all lies and that shit was all made up, the shit is now rolling downhill and about to hit the fan. Splash. All over the borderlands. I think that's it, y'all. I think that's it. This episode was titled, To a Different Day. It seems like it's the same old day for me, for the borderlands. The same old day. Ain't nothing changed. Ain't nothing going good in their life. Shit is always going wrong. And you can't win. Ain't that what Michael Jackson saying in The Wiz? You can't win. Or is that Evelina saying it? I don't remember. And you can't get out of it. Y'all have a good one. This has been Queen Sugar Season 6 recap and review. To a Different Day. Peace out.